Okay, so the first one is character. Like I said, I have a soft character, I have 1-1. So what does that mean? It means that I am not the pushiest guy. I am basically, I just want to be nice to people, and I love sort of attention from other people. A 3 character is recognized as the golden mean. So anyone with 1-1-1, it's sort of like the perfect character. You know, they are not too soft and they're not too hard. 1, as in 1-1, like just 1, is meant to be an egoist. 4 1s is like a leader. Okay, you can see it on the screen, but basically the more 1s you have, the more of a dictator you are. Then we have energy, and I have basically a weak energy. It's just 2. They get energy from giving compliments to people and from receiving compliments. People with no energy, they just, they're like, they need to recharge like a phone twice a day, that sort of stuff. They need their alone time. Some of them can be pretty energetic, but that's if they receive energy from high energy people. I know it might sound like some sort of spiritual nonsense, but it's interesting. So for example, if you put a no energy person with some kids, the kids more often than not really calm down. You might have a crazy kid. You just put it with a no energy person and the kid just like really mellows out. Because no 2s are seen as a sort of vampire sort of energy, like a cat. The higher the 2s, the more of a donor you are, like a dog. For example, 2-2 is meant to be the best energy. You can sit back, you can listen to people talk. You don't feel like there's any sort of pressure on the conversation or anything like that. 2-2-2 is meant to be also high energy, but the idea is that you have to take energy first and then give energy. And then 2-2-2-2 is meant to be your energy is very high, and so high that you actually are very successful in attracting people of the opposite sex. So if you know any 2-2-2-2 people that just have it so easy, or they're very naturally beautiful or something like that, they can thank their matrix for that. And if you have 5 2s or more, if that's possible, it is possible. If you're born in like 2022 or something, you actually have too much energy and you don't know what to do with it. The idea is that these people, they look like some sort of volcano that's ready to erupt, but they're just calm and relaxed. So if you have too many 2s, you actually don't seem energetic. You sort of are inside, but you have so much energy that you can't be bothered releasing the energy. That makes absolutely no sense, but that's how it's described. And 2 can be interchanged with 4, like I said. So 4 is related to health and beauty. And like I said, if you had 2-2-2-2, you're very attractive, and there's some sort of synergy between those 2. But I think that 1s and 2s, like if you look at someone's matrix, you understand their 1s and 2s, you can really sort of understand their pattern of behavior, and you can predict them pretty well. Number 3 is creativity. Like I said, the less creativity you have, the more inclined you are to do some sort of artistic endeavors. So I have 3-3, which is average. So more than 3-3, and you're basically going to be someone who's very creative, either with art, with drawing, or with some sort of marketing and that sort of creative ventures in your life, or you're some sort of very successful scientist because you're able to use your brain in a creative way and to to see past things that other people would normally not be able to. Then you have 4. Like I said, less 4, the more sick you get, but actually this is probably the one where when I've shown it to people, they have disagreed with the most. They've been like, oh no, I'm completely healthy. Or they have lots of 4s. I'm like, oh, you have lots of 4s? And they said, oh, I get sick a lot. So it's up in the air, it's debatable, but like I said, it has some importance with just how healthy you are and how attractive you are. Number 5 is the intuition. So I have 5-5, which is pretty strong intuition actually. So 3-3 was average, the 2 count, and 5-5 is strong because it's a bit more common to have higher creativity than it is to have higher intuition. And for example, the rarest one would probably be, I'd say 6. It's pretty rare to have high 6s. Okay, so with 5, If you have no 5, then you really got to work on your intuition. That's the idea. Again, from birth. Remember this. But the more 5s you have, it's basically the more you are able to predict what's going to happen. And if you have, for example, 555, then you should always look to this person for directions when traveling and that sort of stuff. And they will know what to do in most situations. When I was trying to cross the road, for example, when I was younger, I was thinking about okay, if I keep walking and I turn right at these traffic lights, will I be quicker than if I went forward and waited the X amount of time until the one on the other side turned green? So yeah, the higher the 5s, the more intuition you have, the more logic you have. It doesn't mean that you're stupid if you have low logic. It just means that you'd probably have to work on it a bit more. So number 6, like I said, it's probably the rarest one. So it's labor. I have 1. That basically means that I only really want to do physical exercise or strenuous sort of activities when I'm in the mood, when I feel like it. People with 6-6 are pretty crafty with their hands. It's sort of a golden hand sort of thing. People with 666, it's called the sign of the devil or that sort of stuff. Apparently they are very parasitic in their relationships. I don't know how true that is, but the idea is that you need someone with high energy to compensate for someone with high, in a relationship, to compensate with someone with high labor. Because only someone with high energy would be able to keep up with the amount of devilish sort of energy that is being sucked. That's the description. If you're into the spiritual stuff, I'm just looking at it from a more, I'd say grounded point of view, but I don't understand that fully well. But what I do understand is that people with no 6s in their matrix, they don't want to really work too hard with their hands. It's really the last thing they want to do, and you should not really push them to do some physical stuff. They'll make up their own mind. Okay, and then 7. So I am lucky, 2 7s. The idea is that if you have 2 7s, it means that you have 2 guardian angels to help you through life and to put you on the right path. If you have 1 7, I read somewhere that it means you lost 1 guardian angel in a past life. It means that you can still be lucky, but you just have to make sure that you choose the right path in life. Someone like me with 7-7, we're very lucky. We can basically go through life and act like complete fools, and things will still work out. We can turn up late to an interview, and then we find out that the interview was actually scheduled later than we thought. We can meet people around the world that is some sort of divine intervention, and it only would have happened because we decided to act. And people with 0-7, it basically means they are the guardians of their own life. They are in control of what they do themselves. So yeah, okay. And of course, when you have more 7s, you become sort of like an angel, someone who really gives their luck to other people in some sort of sense. Number 8, we have duty. I have no duty. I've thought about this. So it's basically how much you care about your workplace or maybe your family. This is pretty controversial, or your country as well, how patriotic you can be, because Hitler had 888, but 888 is described as someone who has a strong enough duty to inspire other people to have duty. If you have 1 duty, it's sort of like the average. 2 duty, so 88, that's very high duty. It means that if you're given a task at work or something, you'll follow through because you don't want to disappoint other people. You feel obligation to your loved ones. You feel obligation to your friends, that sort of stuff. And when you have no duty, you're basically just I don't care what you think. I'm just going to do what I want. I don't know. It depends on your circumstances. It depends on how you were raised. It's up to you for interpretation. And then lastly, we have 9, memory. So, like I said, it doesn't mean you're smart or smarter than anyone. It's just how well you can basically remember something. And if you have, the threshold is basically 999. If you have 999 or more, you are just basically so inherently good with your memory that actually you don't normally study. You can't really be bothered studying because you learn things very quickly. If you have less, then you've got to try a bit harder. If you have 2-2 like me, it means that you You have good memory, but it's nothing too special, and you have a hard time remembering important dates, apparently. But yeah, so that's that. Now we'll just look at the lines, because the lines are maybe just as important as the cells themselves. So the first line is the tenacity. That's basically how strong-willed you are to get things done. And as you can see, the higher 1, 4, and 7 you have, the higher tenacity you have. And around 3, like for most of these lines, if you have around 3, you're sort of on the spontaneous side of things. So, and then you have family life, or your approach to family. It's basically how willing you are to dedicate yourself to your family, how much you love your family, that sort of stuff. It's pretty accurate, I'd say. I'd say like 80% of the time it's been like spot on, but there have been some cases, again, maybe it depends on some behavioral stuff or some how they were brought up, but most of the time it's pretty accurate actually. And then you have stability, and the higher the 369, the higher the stability. And it's basically how content you are with a stable life, a stable job, relationships, friendships, all that sort of stuff. You don't really want to move from positions, and you don't perhaps want to put yourself in situations where you have to move or give up some sort of stability. Okay, and then you have self-esteem, which is 1, 2, 3. Pretty high self-esteem is common among a lot of people, but I have seen instances where it is maybe even 2 self-esteem or 3. And then you have money making, which sounds like funny. It's basically how willing you are to make money or to be successful in providing for what you need in life, to put it broadly. And then you have talent. So talent has a pretty broad description in the In Contrary website. It's basically the number of talent reflects how much talent you have. 7, 8, 9, talent reflects your luck, because come on, there's got to be some sort of luck with talent. Duty, so maybe how willing you are to keep at this task or this hobby or anything like that. And 9, your memory, your intellect, like how smart you are in recognizing patterns in some sort of talent-based field, like piano or drawing or writing or anything like that. And then you've got spirituality, and that's 1, 5, 9. That's how spiritual you are. This is pretty accurate, I found, with most people. But the most important thing I want to show you is the temperament, and this is like the real heart of the matrix.